My grandfather's lawyer looked me straight in the eyes. There is one final condition in your grandfather's will. If you are not married within 30 days, you will lose everything. I froze. The mansion, the company, the fortune, all of it would go to charity. I couldn't believe it. I was 28 years old, successful, independent. And now, my entire future depended on marrying someone. Every wealthy man who approached me only wanted one thing: my money. I refused to become someone's prize. Then, on a rainy evening, I saw him, a man sitting alone on a park bench. His clothes were worn, his shoes were old, yet he was quietly reading a business magazine. There was something different about him, something calm, something intelligent. I walked over. Would you marry me? He slowly looked up. Instead of laughing, he smiled. That's an unusual way to introduce yourself. The man stood up and brushed the rain from his old coat. My name is Ethan, he said. I'm Sophia. He looked into my eyes. Before I answer, tell me why. I took a deep breath. My grandfather left me everything, but only if I get married within 30 days. If I fail, I lose my inheritance. Ethan stayed silent for a moment. Then he asked, So, you don't love me? I smiled awkwardly. I don't even know you. A faint smile crossed his face. At least, you're honest. I expected him to walk away. Instead, he said something that shocked me. I'll marry you, but on one condition. No lies. No pretending to be someone we're not. And, after 1 year, if either of us wants to leave, we walk away peacefully. His calm confidence surprised me. A homeless man, speaking like a successful businessman. It didn't make sense. Still, I had no better choice. 3 days later, we signed the marriage papers. My family was furious. They're using you. He's only after your money. But Ethan never asked for a single dollar. He quietly moved into the guest room, cooked his own meals, and every morning, he disappeared for hours without telling anyone where he went. I couldn't shake the feeling that my new husband was hiding something. One evening, I decided to follow him. Every morning, Ethan left the house wearing the same old coat. He always walked instead of driving. I assumed he was looking for work. But that day, he entered one of the most expensive hotels in New York. I frowned. Why would a homeless man go in there? I waited outside. 10 minutes later, a black luxury SUV stopped at the entrance. 3 men in expensive suits stepped out. The moment they saw Ethan, they straightened their jackets. One of them respectfully opened the hotel door. Another handed him a leather briefcase. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I clearly saw one thing. They treated him like he was their boss. My heart started racing. This can't be real. Before I could get closer, Ethan looked toward the street. For a second, our eyes almost met. I quickly hid behind a parked taxi. When I looked again, the SUV was gone. That night, he came home carrying groceries. He smiled. I made your favorite pasta. I stared at him. Where were you today? He didn't hesitate. Just walking around the city. He lied so naturally that I almost believed him. But now, I knew one thing for certain. My husband wasn't who he claimed to be, and whatever secret he was hiding was much bigger than I had ever imagined. The next morning, I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd seen. Who was Ethan? A homeless man? Or someone pretending to be one? I needed answers. The following day, I followed him again. This time, he didn't go to the hotel. He entered the towering glass skyscraper. The sign read, Harrison Global Holdings, one of the largest investment companies in America. I stood across the street, watching. A few moments later, a black limousine arrived. The company's chairman hurried outside. The instant he saw Ethan, he smiled warmly. Welcome back, Mr. Harrison. My heart nearly stopped. Mr. Harrison. Employees lined both sides of the lobby. Security guards opened every door. Executives waited quietly for him. No one questioned his authority. They all answered to him. The homeless man I had married owned the entire company. I couldn't breathe. Everything I believed about Ethan had been a lie. That evening, he returned home wearing the same old coat. As if nothing had happened, he placed a bag of fresh groceries on the kitchen counter. I made your favorite pasta. I looked at him. This time, I couldn't stay silent. I followed you. He froze. You own Harrison Global, don't you? For several seconds, he said nothing. Then, he slowly removed his old coat. I never wanted you to find out like this, I whispered. So, who are you really? He looked into my eyes. My name is Ethan Harrison, and yes, I'm a billionaire, but that's not the secret I've been hiding. He took a deep breath. I became homeless because I chose to disappear. I wanted to know if anyone could love me without my money. I stood there, speechless, couldn't say a word. I looked at him. So, everything was a test? No. If someone could see the man. Before seeing the billionaire, a tear rolled down my cheek. You still married me. Ethan smiled, softly. On quiet mornings, I had fallen in love with him, not because he was rich, not because he owned skyscrapers, but because he had the kindest heart I had ever known. I stepped closer. I don't care about your billions. I only care about you. A smile slowly appeared on Ethan's face. He gently took my hand. So, will you marry me again? This time, for love? I laughed through my tears. Yes, every single time. 6 months later, we stood in the same garden where our story had begun, surrounded by friends, family, and the people who truly cared about us. This time, there were no contracts, no conditions, no secrets, only love. As we exchanged our vows, I finally understood my grandfather's lesson. Real wealth isn't measured by money. It's measured by the person who chooses to stand beside you, even when they have every reason to walk away.